Misery loves company, they say. This proverb, which dates back to the 17th century, suggests that unhappy people find comfort in the company of others who share their misery. However, in today's world, it seems that misery does not only love company, but also seeks to create it. Negativity is everywhere, from the snarky remarks of coworkers to the hateful comments of strangers online. Often, toxicity is subtle or blatant, but it always has the same effect. It drains energies, lowers self-esteem, and makes gullible people doubt themselves and others. It has become worryingly normalized and passed on like a contagious disease. Today, the toxicity we encounter isn't just limited to online trolls. It also creeps insidiously into our closest circles. One moment, you're laughing over shared memories. The next, you're left questioning reality after a passive-aggressive jab. Spotting and handling toxic friends can be very challenging. According to a 2019 survey, 83% of people who have experienced a toxic friendship held on to it longer than they should. This suggests that many people struggle to recognize and deal with toxicity, and when they do, it is often difficult for them to call it out, even when it harms their well-being. Sigma males, however, are part of the few people who can quickly spot toxicity and call it by its name. What do Sigma males see in toxic people that others don't? In this video, I will discuss the 5 often missed cues of toxic people that Sigma males never miss. Number 5. They always have double moral standards. Toxic people are often like chameleons, blending in and adapting their behavior to suit the situations. But beneath the surface, a constant trace of inconsistency betrays their true nature. This inconsistency manifests in the form of double standards, a glaring paradox that exposes the hollowness of their proclaimed values. They preach fairness while playing favorites, demand respect while dishing out insults, and champion honesty while twisting truths to their advantage. It's as if they operate under 2 sets of rules, one for themselves, adorned with self-righteousness, and another for everyone else, riddled with loopholes and exceptions. I have encountered quite a number of toxic people, and one thing I know is that majority of them are not consciously aware of their inconsistencies, and for some that are conscious, they categorize their behavior or rationalize it away, believing their actions are justified in specific situations. These double standards are like cracks in a facade, offering a glimpse into the true motivations lurking beneath. Toxic people are experts at guilt-tripping others into complying with their demands while refusing to reciprocate the same courtesy. However, for those with a keen eye, these double standards become like flashing neon signs. You see them even when they try to hide them. Sigma males, however, have a keen eye for these inconsistencies. They are highly reflective, analytical, and more attuned to subtle cues, which makes them less susceptible to toxic people's drama. They observe behavior, not just words, and pick up on discrepancies between what someone says and what they do. They notice subtle shifts in tone, justifications offered for breaking their own rules, and deflection tactics employed to avoid accountability. Number 4. They have exaggerated sense of superiority. Toxic individuals often wear an invisible crown forged from an inflated sense of self-importance. They strut through life like peacocks with plumage preened to the point of absurdity, convinced their feathers outshine everyone else's. In the professional arena, competence is king, but an exaggerated belief in superiority can transform a confident leader into a domineering tyrant. While the inflated sense of superiority might appear as mere confidence on the surface, it often masks deeper insecurities and feelings of inadequacy. Toxic people are emperors with no clothes who use their arrogance as a weapon. They belittle others and claim credit for shared successes. They put on compensatory behavior, fueled by cognitive biases that inflate self-perception, manifested in boasting and belittling others to create a false sense of power and control. Sigma males, with their radar for authenticity, recognize these patterns as markers of a deeply insecure soul, desperately trying to inflate their self-worth by diminishing others. It's like watching a drowning person desperately clinging to a deflated pool float. The harder they grasp, the faster they sink. Number 3. Their violation of people's boundaries without remorse. Setting healthy boundaries requires self-awareness and assertiveness, but some people, especially toxic people, are allergic to these invisible fences. They trample over them with the grace of a bull in a china shop, leaving a trail of hurt and frustration in their wake. As an anonymous quote puts it, "The only people who get upset about you setting boundaries are the ones who were benefiting from you having none." One reason toxic people violate boundaries is that they are often motivated by selfishness and a lack of respect for others. They do not care about how their actions affect other people's feelings, needs, or preferences. They only care about satisfying their own wants and agendas. Toxic individuals often resemble unwelcome guests who barge into the sacred space of your boundaries. However, unlike guests, they don't leave when you ask them to. They disregard your right to emotional and physical autonomy, leaving you feeling invaded and disrespected. Working with a boss who sends you tasks to work on outside work hours without any regard for your personal life would make you understand how toxic people operate. They are not socially oblivious. It's a deliberate power play meant to show dominance and disregard your comfort. Their invasion extends beyond physical work. They also snoop through your belongings, pry into your personal life, or demand constant attention regardless of your needs. They make decisions for you, dictate your time, and pressure you into actions that align with their desires, not yours. Well, whatever tactics a toxic person uses to dominate people's lives never work for Sigma males who respect themselves and their boundaries. Sigmas are too self-aware to let people intrude in their personal lives. They stand up for themselves and call out toxic behavior when they see it. They know how to say no and walk away from toxic situations. Number 2. Their lack of empathy and perspective-taking. Toxic people, like emotional black holes, have a knack for draining the empathy out of any interaction. Imagine trying to pour your heart out to a brick wall. That's the experience of sharing your feelings with someone who cannot truly connect. Their responses are like pre-recorded platitudes, devoid of genuine warmth or understanding. It's a paradox. They crave attention, yet their emotional vacuum repels any attempt at meaningful connection. But it's not just empathy that's missing. Toxic individuals are allergic to perspective-taking. Their world revolves around their narrow viewpoint, like a child convinced the only color that exists is red. They bulldoze over opposing opinions, their minds as closed as a locked vault. It's like trying to have a picnic in a dust storm. Impossible to truly savor the experience. So how do Sigma males spot these empathy-deficient, perspective-challenged individuals? It's often an intuitive observation. They pick up on the subtle cues, the dismissive shrug in response to someone's pain, the inability to see beyond their desires, the constant me that drowns out any attempt at genuine connection. Sigma males, with their finely tuned emotional radar, recognize these patterns as red flags, signs of a soul unwilling to step outside its self-imposed limitations. Number 1. They are always very status conscious. For toxic people, social interaction is like a high-stakes game of brand bingo. They collect acquaintances like designer handbags, their value determined by the perceived prestige of their connections. Imagine their conversations as a constant name-dropping marathon, peppered with mentions of exclusive gatherings and influential friends. As always, Sigmas see through the carefully curated persona, recognizing the irony. The more someone fixates on outward appearances, the less comfortable they often are in their own skin. It's like judging a book by its cover, ignoring the rich stories and experiences hidden within. Sigma males notice the subtle cues, the constant need for compliments, the dismissive attitude towards those deemed unfashionable, and the quick judgments based solely on outward appearances. They know that the person fixated on appearances is searching for external validation to fill an internal void. For Sigma males, toxic people are playing a losing game, sacrificing meaningful connections for a fleeting reflection of self-worth. There you have it. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos on Sigma males. See you in the next video.